Okay, let's take another look at implicit differentiation. Again, this is where the x's and y's are kind of intermixed with each other. And remember that y is a function of x. So when we're taking a derivative of y cubed, that's like y equals a function, right? So we know that a function cubed, if we're taking the derivative of that, we take the derivative of the outside, leaving the inside alone, times the derivative of the inside. We're going to use the chain rule. So let's get rid of this stuff. Alright, so if we take the derivative of this, we're going to have 3x squared plus, we got a product here, so I'm going to split into two pieces. First, times the derivative of the second, which is 2y times y prime, plus the second times the derivative of the first, which is just 3, plus 3y squared, because you use the power rule, times the derivative of the inside, which is just y prime. Alright, so this is a mess. I'm going to put all my y primes on one side, put everything else on the other. So we got 6xy y prime plus 3y squared y prime. I'm going to subtract everything else to the other side. So minus 3x squared minus 3y squared. And if I factor, I get 6xy on the bottom plus 3y squared. Alright, and to make things a little bit nicer, we can divide everything by 3. So that's going to be negative x squared minus y squared over 6xy, oh, not 6xy. Okay, we want to divide, right? So divide by 3, so that's 2xy plus y squared. Alright, so here's our derivative. One of the questions I might ask is find the derivative of the function when x is 1. Okay, so if x is 1, okay, if we want to find the slope at 1, there's a couple places where our function exists at 1. So I'm going to plug a 1 into our function. This is our original function. 1 cubed is just 1, so I'm going to move it to the other side. I get 3y squared plus y cubed equals 0. So I factor y squared out. 3 plus y equals 0. That means y equals 0 or negative 3. And you can see that right about here, there. So those are the two places that I'm going to find the slope of the tangent line. So our points are going to be 1, 0, and 1, negative 3. So to find my slope at each of these points, I'm going to plug an x and a y in. So if I plug a 1 and 0, my slope equals negative 1 over, let's see, 0, 0. Negative 1 over 0, that means we have an undefined slope. So that's a vertical line. So our tangent line is just x equals 1. And that makes sense right about here. Then our second equation, or sorry, our second point, is still going to be negative 1 minus 9 over 2 times 1 times negative 3 plus 9. So that's negative 10 over negative 6 plus 9, so 3. So negative 10 thirds is our slope right about here. And our tangent line equation is going to be y plus 3 equals negative 10 thirds x minus 1. Alright, here's another equation. I just made it up. I just wanted to see what it was, and it actually reminded me of a bow tie. So I could put like a little bow right here, put a beard right here, mustache of course, smile, and I think you got a picture of me. But we're not doing that, so let's erase that. Put it back where it belongs. Alright, so I want to find the slope of my one and original bow tie curve. So this is going to actually probably take some room. We've got to use quotient rule here. So that's going to be bottom times the derivative of the top minus top times the derivative of the bottom, which is y prime, all over y squared, plus, we got to use product rule, first times derivative of the second, plus second times the derivative of the first. Then we got to use quotient rule again, bottom times the derivative of the top, minus top times the derivative of the bottom, all over the bottom squared, equals 0. So in this case, we do have to simplify. You have to get the y primes by themselves. So I'm going to split up each of these complex fractions. This piece right here is a y. So y over y squared is 1 over y minus x over y squared, y prime, plus xy prime plus y. And this is why dy dx's are nice to use, because if you use the prime, sometimes they get confused with 1s. Plus 1 over x y prime minus y over x squared equals 0. So I'm going to do a little bit more simplifying. Put everything with a y prime on the same side. So negative x over y squared, y prime, plus xy prime, plus 1 over x, y prime, equals minus 1 over y, minus y, plus y over x squared. And then finally factor. All over negative x over y squared plus x plus 1 over x. Alright, so this is crazy, right? How do we simplify this? Well, if you want to at least get rid of your fractions, slide this up a bit. To get rid of your fractions, you have to multiply by the common denominator. So if I multiply everything on top and bottom by x squared, y squared, then that's going to give me negative x squared y minus x squared y cubed plus y cubed over negative x cubed plus x cubed y squared plus